Guys, it's time to find out which body is going to go on SV2 right here. We have the Ford F-250 tucked body by Jconcepts. We have my favorite, the creep body by Jconcepts. Oh, I like that body. And right here we have the new Proline Cliffhanger. This is a very neat body. So we're going to test on this chassis right here for fitment. We're going to look at weight and then how to mount the body on it effectively. And also some body trimming and wonderful other things. Let's get started. The tucked and the Cliffhanger. These are the two newest bodies on the market. Way more new than the creep, which, oh man, I like that body. Anyway, we're going to take a look at these, the overall size, shapes, and all of that, because they both have a pitched front and a dovetailed back. So let's go and look at the length. Now when we come out to here, you can see the tucked body is about 18 inches and the Cliffhanger is about 17. Now I got to tell you, when it comes to competition, less overhang is better. It really is. So now I'm going to put the creep body up against the Cliffhanger for the shortness. And here we are. Okay, now as far as the length goes, creep is about 17 and a half, and then that one is still 17. It hasn't grown any. So okay, so the Cliffhanger has got potentially better overhangs front and back than what the creep body has. So now we're going to get into widths. The Cliffhanger looks to be right at 7 1/4 wide at the bottom edge, and the creep we got just under 6 1/4. That is 6 1/8. So creep is definitely narrower at the body. Now the tuck body, the body seems to kind of come out at an angle for some reason. So, and I'm not pushing these in or anything, I'm just setting them right down. We are at just over 7 1/2 on the width at the belly for the tucked. Overall body height, these bodies are trimmed to pretty much right at the line that they're supposed to be trimmed at on the molding. So Cliffhanger definitely has the lower profile. Now we're going to look at the cab tops. Now the reason we're looking at cab tops is really, it's an important part. When you roll your vehicle over, if the top of the cab is big, fat, and wide, well, guess what? You're more likely to stay on the top. You lay over on the side, well, a lot of times you can spin your throttle, get some tire speed, catch, and bring it back over. And that's one of the things I really like about the creep. So just looking at them, they look to be, you know, pretty much the creep is the narrow, and then the Jconcepts tuck, and then the Proline. Let's get a closer look at this. The creep at its widest is about 5 1/2 inches. The tucked at its widest is actually about 5 1/4. So yeah, the tucked is about 5 3/8. So in all actuality, the top of the Cliffhanger is actually the skinniest one. It doesn't look it. One more thing to look at with the top of the cab is the profile. A little bit rounded right there, which really helps you get back on the side. That one is pretty well flat. This one got a little bit of a crest to it, but definitely the creep. Definitely the creep on that one. Let's look at the squeeze on these. So obviously, creep is actually the widest at the back. The narrowest is obviously the Cliffhanger, and then you have tucked. Let's set that right there. Oh yeah. So the Cliffhanger is definitely dovetailed the most in the back. That one's pretty easy. The front, let's see. Rift is going to be, not the rift, the creep is going to be obviously the narrow here. And as far as the front goes, let's see here, slide that out of the way. by just a little bit. The tuck 250 is never up front. Now, here's the thing. The front, you have the steering axle, so you can kind of maneuver that a little bit left and right. The back, sometimes you can maneuver it if your steering servo is good enough and you can move it around like that, but usually that's not really the case. So as far as this goes, yeah, I would have to say the Cliffhanger definitely got the better tuck and dove. Now it's time to weigh these things in. Now granted, the one that is used will be trimmed a little bit more, so it'll be a little bit lighter. So this is the Cliffhanger. It is at 106 grams. All right, let's go ahead and move on to Creep. Creep is 102 grams. Okay, now let's check out the tucked. And we are at 125 grams. So, well, Creep is definitely the lightest one of the bunch, followed by Cliffhanger and then the tucked. Now we get to the most important part. Let's fit the bodies. We're going to start with the good old Creep. All right, so Creep body looks pretty darn awesome. The issue that I'm going to have with that is going to be in the back. The way the towers are that I'm using, yeah, I could probably do something with those and lay them down, but I kind of like the towers the way they are, so I kind of want to work with that. So to make this work, the front will be just fine. That looks good. Probably have to cut up into here for a little bit more compression and articulation. The back looks good, but this right here I had to cut and drop the body down over the shocks. And once I get the body set, then I'll cut this to where it's about middle ways, maybe at the top of the frame rail. I'm not a fan of cutting the body way up here. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of cutting the body off back here or running just a cab. I want to have a full body. So that's the Creep. Now we have the tucked. Okay, the tucked will definitely drop down in the back. The front will have to be cut way up to here, so there's a lot of trimming that would have to be done on that. Overhang, not bad at all. Front bumper, if this right here was cut up, the bumper would actually be right up into the grill, so it wouldn't hurt me anything there. Interesting. And time for the Proline. Oh. 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 I think I found the body. Oh, wow. That looks awesome. Overhangs are like non-existent. Wow, looks good. Do some trimming on the body. I believe this is more of a Sorka thing, you know, you get the cab out here to the tires, as where the Creep body doesn't really fit that bill, and the Sorka guys have been crying foul, you know, because you don't like that body. But anyway, we now have this right here, the back end. That's nice. Yeah, I think I found the body, guys. Fits this really nice. Now with the width down here, I may end up putting the sliders back on, but there's a big gap right here as opposed to what the Creep body has. It's not as much of a gap down here, so Oh man. So it looks like, I gotta tell you, I think this is it. How is it at the frame? Just about perfect. So the way these are set up into here, the way this comes out, I like this. Okay, well, we have found out it's going to be the Cliffhanger. Nice. Well guys, as much as I really like the creep body, I really do, it's time to save this for another project. What that project will be, well, I have no idea yet. The Proline Cliffhanger is going to be the body of choice for Superlight SV2. The reason that I'm going to do this is, number one, it is a bit different from the normal bodies that I use, being all creeps. Number two, I really like the back end of this, how it narrows down. Number three, it fits better as it sits up into the shock towers and the body mounts that will go into the back. It fits well without having to cut into the body to make that go. The lower profile of the cab is awesome. I prefer the top cab of the creep because it's a little bit narrower, so it's more likely to fall on its side and I can spin it around. But this right here, the lower profile, hopefully will be okay. Hopefully it won't land on top too bad. The overhangs front and back, it's shorter than the Jconcepts tucked body, and the tucked body, in my opinion, is much better suited for something a little bit larger, like say a TRX4 build. You know, something a little bit bigger, a little bit more beefy. That seems to be the best fit for the tucked. Just because of the length being, you know, almost 18 inches long, you know, you could probably put that to real good use on the TRX4 that has the 12.8 inch wheelbase. You know, you'd have, the wheels would be out, and I think it would fit that body really darn good. It would reduce your overhangs to almost nothing. But for this one right here, I've got to give it to the Cliffhanger. The width down here may be an issue. I may have to put sliders on it, but if I do, I do. So, guys, hopefully I went over these in enough details to give you an idea of the different bodies, the looks of them. I mean, the tucked is a Ford. This is kind of like a Toyota, and the creep back there is kind of like an old Willys. So anyway, in that description, I will put links to all three of these bodies and everything on Superlight SV2 for you guys. So yeah, now I get to start trying to paint this thing, and I have no idea what scheme I'm going to use. It's not going to be just a regular spray bomb. I'm going to do something. Anyway, guys, check that description, use those links, make sure you're subscribed, and thank you all for watching. Guys, if you like what you see, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell. So, in the description, there's a link to become a channel member. If you want to become a channel member, it's a very simple $2, $5, $10, or if you really got some money, $25 a month. It's a simple way to support the channel. So, get that, and I am doing monthly giveaways for members only, so you might want to consider it. So, guys, use those links, make sure you're subscribed. Thank you all for watching.